Okay, we're rolling. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Greg Wright. I fly Cessna 182. I've owned it for 28 years. I've been flying for 49 years. And just recently, well, about my 182, fast is always better. So about 10 years ago, I upgraded the stock 470 to a 520 P-pump conversion. And boy, the last time I bought an exhaust system, I about croaked when I saw the price. So I started looking around, and every year when I went to Oshkosh and Sun and Fun, I had always stopped by the Power Flow booth and said, just jokingly, you got anything for a 182? And the answer was always no. And the answer was mostly because the intake was so inefficient that they couldn't balance the power from one cylinder to the next, and therefore they weren't going to make a Power Flow exhaust until they could balance the intake too. Well, 2 years ago at Oshkosh, I walked by the booth and I just looked, and all of a sudden, hey, bingo, they have an exhaust for a 182 now. So I stopped and talked to them a little bit, and I was impressed. So I went on and put a deposit down right then. And it wasn't ready then. And if you call the company and talk to them, you can hear how they bought leading edge exhaust from a guy up in Alaska and incorporated his ideas, his technology, his equipment, moved it all down to Daytona Beach in Florida, and refined a few things and made a 182 exhaust. So 1 month ago yesterday, I showed up at Daytona and gave them my airplane, my beloved airplane. And I was impressed. I was impressed by the people, how nice they were to me. Of course, they're getting paid for it, right? They got to be nice to me.
Not always, but sure. We're nice to everybody.
And they were nice, and I was impressed. The first thing I did, a guy named Ryan showed me around their shop, or their factory, they call it. And I was really impressed by the knowledge there, the quality of the materials they use. It's way above and beyond any stock exhaust I've ever seen. Now, of course, so is the price. So now we want to talk about, what did I think of it?
Yeah, tell me what you thought of it.
I was impressed. I am impressed. I'm continuing to be impressed because I haven't flown it but 4 or 5 times since I left Daytona a month ago. The first thing I noticed was when I was climbing out of Daytona on a 91-degree day in March, the first thing I did was look out the window, and I noticed a change in the angle of attack. And I'm climbing at 130 miles an hour. That's what my indicator is marked in. I'm climbing 130 miles an hour, and I'm going 1,000 feet a minute, and the deck angle is noticeably higher than it was before I put the exhaust on. Really noticed. I climbed at 10,000 feet and still at 120 miles an hour indicated I was still climbing 500 feet a minute at 9,000 feet. And those of you who have 182s, that's doing good. That was big, that was immediate. Then on the way home, I played with it a lot. Okay, if anybody's got a 182, is it okay to talk about this? Anybody's got a 182 with an engine monitor, you know that number 6 cylinder always runs richer. So the exhaust gas temperature and the cylinder head temperature are both noticeably lower than the other 5, and particularly the first 4. 5 is kind of in the middle between the first 4 and number 6. Well, guess what? As my man Darren said, you can take a pencil and lay it across the top of the EGT graph, and it's perfectly horizontal. I had a differential, if you know what I'm talking about, the differential between the high and the low EGT of 20 degrees. Show me a 182 that will do that. No, most of them you're on the upside of 100, 120, 130. On a good day, you might get it down to 80, or I would. Now all of a sudden, I'm always at 50 degree differential. And if I work on it a little bit, maybe put a little carb heat to mix the air up a little better, I can get down to 20 or 30 or 40 degree differentials all the time.
And are you leaned doing that?
Of course, yeah. I don't run it that lean. I don't run it that lean, but that day I did, just playing with it. But I was at 9,000 feet now.
Yep.
So probably at 9,000 feet, I can't do much that'll hurt my engine.
Were you leaned rich of peak or lean of peak?
Lean of peak.
Lean of peak.
Yeah. And I want to tell you this is astounding. Before, most days I could not go lean of peak. Some days I could, but if I could go lean of peak, only 5 or 10 degrees lean of peak. That day, I went 50 degrees lean of peak. 50 degrees. Now that's on the last cylinder of the peak.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. Now I didn't run it like, in fact, to be honest with you, when I leaned it back and got that lean, the engine started dying a little bit, and I said, uh-oh,
sure.
we got to add some gas. So I pushed the mixture in, pushed the red knob in. But that was really, really impressive. That was something, even though I had been told that, I didn't believe it. And that was something that really, really is a difference. Now, to me, the most important thing, what I said when I bought this was, I don't remember whether it was Darren or Jim, I can't remember which one, but one of them told me at Ice Class a couple of years ago, it would lower my CHTs.
Yeah.
I said, well, you know, okay, maybe, but
You're skeptical.
Maybe.
That's
I was
fine.
skeptical. And always, and particularly since I've had the 520 in it, my cylinder head temperatures have always been a problem, always been an issue. Number 3 and 4, and one day it'll be number 3, and the next day it'll be number 4, will be the hottest ones, and they were, you know, always trying to keep my cylinder head temperatures under 380. You know, listen to the gospel of John Frank and Mike Bush. John Frank, rest his soul.
That's right.
Anyway, so I try to keep mine there, and I just couldn't do it. Not on a hot day in Virginia, and that's where I live. And I could do it if I kept my cow flaps open.
Yep.
Well, I told you I'm a speed freak. I want to go faster, and you know, you open those cow flaps, that's going to cost you 4 or 5 knots. It's going to do it. Some people say, well, I don't notice any difference. Well, if you don't notice any difference, you're not paying attention. But guess what? I can now run wide open throttle, 2,500 RPMs with the cow flaps closed. And when I flew down to Florida 2 days ago, you know, when we landed, it was close to 90 degrees. And my hottest cylinder head temperature was like 375, 377, something like that.
You've never seen that before for that kind of temps?
Well, in the wintertime. in the wintertime.
In the wintertime, yeah. We're in summer now.
No. And I think that's absolutely due to the power flow exhaust. Now, what causes it? I've talked to Darren about this, and of course one thing that causes is it's a more efficient exhaust. We got 2 exhaust pipes instead of 1, and it gets the hot gases out of the engine cowling quicker and gets rid of it. Maybe Darren will show a picture of a 0470 exhaust here in a few minutes, but those exhaust manifolds go straight down for, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches before they turn and go into a collector. And I mean,
they're about 15 inches. They go about 15,
yeah,
18,
but they go straight down.
Oh, straight down.
Straight down, 6 or 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm telling you what, they're getting those hot exhaust gases out of that quickly, and that's what you want.
Yep.
Now, one thing I haven't done yet, Darren advised me, and maybe this was a sales pitch, I don't know, but he advised me, he said, okay, you're getting rid of your exhaust gas quicker. Let's get something on the plane that will allow you to take in more fresh air quicker. So I purchased a Challenger K&N air filter.
Challenger air filter with K&N media. Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so a Challenger air filter with K&N
media.
And a lot of you know about that, and some of you already have that. The deal is it's supposed to flow more air. Well, if it flows more air, guess what I can do? I can flow more gas. And I can get rid of that stuff out the bottom end quicker. I haven't done a speed test yet, so I can't say. I was hoping to get 3 or 4 or 5 knots out of it. I feel like it's faster. How much faster, I don't know. I need to do some speed tests. I need to go up and do the 3 sides of the rectangle,
Sure.
read the GPS speeds and put them in the formula. And that's something for maybe next week or the week after.
So if you fly, if you have extra climb capability, which you've seen, that means the power's there.
That's right.
You just got to figure out the settings there.
The power's there, and that means, hey, I can get to altitude quicker, and I can get in, set up into cruise quicker.
Yep.
So I'm expecting it to be probably a little faster.
Yep.
At least block to block.
Yep.
As to whether my true airspeed will increase, I'll let you know that in a few weeks.
Good.
Darren told me I didn't have to say anything about this, but I want to. The most impressive thing to me about it is the materials that it's built out of. It's built out of 49,000 321 stainless, and that is like twice as thick as my current exhaust, which came from a company up in Canada that I won't name.
Yeah, so typically the stock one's a 35,000, so it's 40% thicker.
Okay, 40%.
But that's still,
thick.
that's a lot. That's
Yeah,
a lot
that's a
thicker.
lot.
Yeah.
And you know, she sounds bully. She sounds really bully. You know, those of you old enough remember 409 Chevrolets and 454 Chevrolets, you know what they sounded like, and it's kind of close to what this sounds like. And I'm going to say this, and Darren may not like this, but I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm really happy I went to their shop and had mine installed. You know, they ran into 2 or 3 little glitches, and I mean little now, that if I had had the exhaust made up and sent to me and I'd got my mechanic to put it on, you know, all of a sudden if you find a glitch, what do?
Yep.
You got to send something back down to Florida. You got to get it re-engineered, remanufactured, send it back to you. And by me being right there at the shop, bingo, it was done in a matter of a couple hours. And I think Darren kept kidding. I hope he was kidding. And he said there are 9 things that go wrong. You hit 2 of them on the first day. On the second morning, we hit number 3. But we got them all solved, or they got them all solved.
Yep.
And like I say, I just can't tell you how impressed I was also with the people in the shop. I got a dollar tour, not a nickel tour, a dollar tour.
You got the dollar
of
tour.
the shop. And I was impressed, and I think anybody would be. I think if you go there and they show you, well, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and look, there's a guy sitting there that tests every system that goes over to the shop. Before he boxes up and ships it, he puts it underwater, he pressurizes it, and looks for air leaks.
Yep.
So when you get your power flow exhaust system, it should be ready to rock and roll right then. And they're really, you know, they've been in business 28 years. I'm down here at Sun and Fun, and I heard a guy just come by a while ago, and he said he was on 14 years and had never had a problem. Well, that's impressive. You know, what does a stock exhaust last you? So maybe this costs a little more. A little more.
A little more. Yeah.
A little more.
That's a little more
but
for a lot more.
If it lasts longer, then you know, I guarantee if it lasts 7 or 8 years, which I'm expecting it to, it might last. I think. Well, that guy just said 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, so
We've got exhausts that have been 22 years still.
22 years.
That's our record.
I'll be ahead of the game. And of course, the big thing is on the 182, it's all folded up and contained inside the cowl. Well, there are a couple of extensions that stick down about 7 or 8 inches below the cowl, and you know, I think you just got to make peace with that and live with it. But they're good-looking stainless steel, man. So what's wrong with that, right?
There you go.
That's probably about all I can say, except I think it's worth looking into. If anybody wants to ask me about it, I would welcome any questions. The best place to get in touch with me is on the Cessna Pilot Society forum. That's Cessna-pilots.net. Cessna-pilots.net. pilots.net.
Okay.
And you have to join, but it's free. You have to use your real name because we don't want any skank on there. But you get on that form and you'll see my name somewhere, and all you gotta do is click on me and send me a private message.
Cool.
And I'll give you my phone number and you can call me and we'll talk about it. But I've said everything I need to say.
Okay. Can I ask you a
haven't
couple
said anything
questions?
bad. Sure, I might not be able to answer, but fire
Oh, all right,
away.
no. So now you've seen it all again, or now you've seen it. Would you do it again?
Oh,
Is that
that's
painful?
my wife that question.
Not if you paid for it twice. If you knew now if you know now what you know.
Knowing what you know now.
Knowing what you know now. Thank you.
I think I would do it again.
Okay.
I think I would.
All right.
I know if it cost a couple $1,000s less, I know I would.
Well, wouldn't we all?
But I think it's worth the money.
Okay.
Even though it's pretty expensive, but what isn't?
Yep.
I mean, 5 or 6 basic aviation units.
What would you pay to fix your engine temperature capability and save you gallons an hour?
Bingo.
Yep. Okay. And so you would recommend this to other people if they're considering performance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would recommend it absolutely if you got an exhaust gone bad. Absolutely, there's no question in my mind.
Yeah.
This is the road to go.
Yeah.
Even if you've got a good exhaust, and if you're thinking about an upgrade, or okay, I'm having trouble with engine temperatures, CHTs, I think this would be an excellent move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an incremental cost, way less than any other. Your next choice is an engine overhaul or a P-Punk or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, which is all good.
It's all good. It's all fun.
It all adds
It's
up.
all fun.
Awesome.
When I put a P-Punk in it, I could look at the window and tell I was going faster.
There you go.
Now that's impressive.
How much it cost you to do a P-Punk?
A lot.
There you go. More than a Power Flow.
6 or 7 times more than a power flow.
There we go then. All right. Greg, thanks so much.
Thank you, Darren, for everything.
Thank you. You're
And look,
welcome.
I'd like to say a thank you to Jim and Ryan. I mean, I talked to Jim on the phone. I talked to Ryan at the shop. The other guys, Mike and Josh down at the install shop right on Daytona International, and a few more people in the manufacturing
You
part.
met almost everybody in the company.
Yeah, but I can't remember names.
That's
My
all
wife
right.
said
It's a
one of
test
them was
later.
named Eric.
Yeah, you're right.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric was the engineer. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And thank you for having me, and I hope somebody looks at this.
Thank you. We'll see. It's 17 minutes long. We'll
Wow.
tell them to get popcorn. Thanks, Greg.
All right, Darren.